3 days of semen retention, and man, I'm feeling extravagant. I just got done with a leg day. Got done with a high rep leg day. Man, who doesn't like a good leg day? You know, it's like anything in life. A good leg day is only good after the fact. Maybe a little bit in the moment when you get through a set and you could go like, yeah, I did that. You know, if you go to the gym, you understand what I'm talking about. You should be going to the gym regardless, but don't skip legs, because the feeling that you get after, oh my God, you feel incredible. I already felt, immaculate waking up. I was a little bit tired waking up because I only slept for 3 hours. So, it takes me a little bit. And every morning now, I've been trying to make sure that my mind stays in check. That I make sure that I don't just start hopping on my phone right away and checking on a bunch of things that don't matter. I just start thinking about, my future reality, keeping that in my mind, keeping that stable in my mind. And before I go to sleep too, I'll do the same thing. So then it's very, very fresh in my subconscious. That's when it's the most permeable. That's when you could actually, that's when instead of a solid like rubber ball, it's a bubble. So you could just pierce right through it. You could pierce your thoughts right through it. So when I wake up now, I make sure that my thoughts are aligned and ready for the day. So then my day just starts loading up, I forgot I even ordered my groceries in advance. I scheduled it for delivery for when I woke up, because I knew I was going to wake up in a couple hours because I needed to hit the gym before work. It's mandatory. I took the past, like 2 days off because I just overslept like a bum, to be honest. But no reason to kind of just like dwell on the negative. That's why you're stuck in your cycle. That's why you're stuck in your karmic retribution. You love being in this negative cycle. You lie to yourself that you don't want to be in your position. But if you didn't want to be in your position, you wouldn't be in it. You would do everything in your power to get out of that position. You wouldn't be, messing around too much with anything else other than trying to progress, trying to get ahead. And if you are in that stage where you actually are trying, then good for you. You're putting in the work, you're putting in the effort. But most of the time, even for me in the past, my old self, I would always just focus more on the negative, especially when I'm just around other people who that's all they know. They only know to focus on the negative and complain and huff and all this, BS. Like, you can't be around that. I'm starting to really realize that is the last step of my transformation, of my full-on transformation, is just ripping my environment apart, fully just removing myself from the environment that I know. That is the last step for my evolution. And then I can upgrade to the next, Pokemon on the real. Like, you need to get out of, if you're in some sort of negative environment, and this doesn't necessarily mean you are around bad people, but you're around people that don't believe in themselves. You're around people that focus on the negative. You cannot be around that. If you want to be great, you cannot be around that. A famous, world famous Mr. Olympia, if you keep up with bodybuilding, in the early 2000s, Jay Cutler, he couldn't take no negativity. He said on interviews that, people would call him with their problems while he was, trying to get ready for the Olympia, trying to get ready to win something. And he didn't have time for that. He didn't have time for nobody's negativity. So he hung up the phone and kept it pushing. Sometimes, when you are trying to transform and when you're trying to just push for something in general, you cannot be around anything negative. Rich Piana had the same goddamn mentality. Rest in peace. But, you know, a lot of these people, especially top level athletes and, the top of the top. Ronaldo, Messi, all of them. The top artists, the top this, the top that. But usually athletes more, because artists you can get away with anything. You can get away with still, doing a lot of degenerate things. You can get away with still, drinking alcohol and just doing a bunch of stuff like having a bunch of sex and all that. But, for the top level athletes, your diet usually has to be on point. Your sleep, you're a lot more regimen. That's why, you have to try to look at what they do. I mean, the highest performers. And then try to just, take a couple notes and try to apply it to your own life. Try to just find an example of someone you sort of like want to have parts of their mentality. Take notes, figure out what they're doing and how they're doing what they're doing, and do it. Like, it's as simple as that. If you want to become the person that can actually outperform everyone, then you have to, be a little bit ruthless, at least for a point in your life, and just push the needle forward. You got to understand, yeah, you might hurt people in the short term. And yeah, some of those people you'll never talk to again. And that's life. It is what it is. That's tough. But for the people who stick around, they'll understand eventually. If you actually truly put in the work and sacrifice, and, let go of the now to evolve to the future version of yourself, then you can come back around and help them tenfold. Because right now, you can't do anything for them. And you may love them, but it hurts you deep down inside. So, if you gotta, hurt them a little bit in a way, for the fact of just like, leaving, not caring about their negativity, negative problems, not caring about their problems in general. Just ignoring their problems and focusing on your positive outcomes, then so be it. It's for the better outcome of everybody that you love. You need to understand that. Because the quicker you can understand that, the quicker you can actually save everybody around you. That's the whole, that's the whole point of it. Otherwise, yet again, you'll get stuck back into this negative loop. No matter how hard you try to resist, if you are around these types of people, it's going to be difficult. Be way more difficult than it has to be to stay in a positive state of mind. And this comes with the 9 to 5 as well. So with that, you need to be doing everything in your power to get out of that as well. If your 9 to 5 is, a toxic environment, if you work a 9 to 5 that you love and, it's not really a negative place, then fine, fair. But if you work a terrible 9 to 5 that you do not enjoy in the first place, and there's just negative people there all the time, managers that you don't respect at all, these fat loser managers, man, just the most how can you be some sort of authoritative figure if you you have nothing in your voice and throat to actually command? You tell people something and nobody respects you as a manager at a job. You can't even manage your own life. You can't even show up for yourself. obviously you're not going to be a good manager at this 9 to 5 job. You're not. But they think that they're, top of the echelon and all that. And also, I'm sweating so much because, number one, it's like 90 degrees out. I'm gonna go to work, dripping in sweat. They're gonna, be wondering what the fuck is going on. Is this guy on drugs? Again, what's going on? No, I'm on the drug of life. Like, this is what life looks like. This is what actually chasing your goals looks like. I don't bullshit. You will see from this journey, from this channel, how much I just grow over time. Like, this version of me that you see right now is the early stages of my evolution. Like, this is truly Bitcoin in whatever, 2012 or something. This is only the beginning of everything. Like, this is the start of unlocking everything. And yet again, I say it all the time, it starts with the pillar of semen retention. Because once you understand you can do that, once you understand that you can defeat lust, you can defeat every other, bad habit or aspect of your life. But the final form of my transformation is changing my environment, which I'm aggressively just working on. I know this in the back of my mind, so then I'm doing everything in order to change it. I'm working my ass off at my 9 to 5 to make sure that I just have so much money to where I could just move across the country and not worry about rent for like an entire year. And just solely work on the things that actually matter and not be around anything negative, anybody negative. I will truly just be in my own environment, my own world, and it will be time to truly evolve into the next step of me. I'm just telling you the play-by-play. And I know this for a fact too. Barely anybody is going to be able to even keep up. Like, I am speed running this shit now. And the people who've, been at, top positions and all this stuff, they don't even know what's coming. I know the impact that I will have on this world. I will leave something behind, something great, something just actually genuinely impactful when I am gone. And that's what it's all about. The legacy. The chance to have some sort of legacy in this life. It's not about money. It's not about, all these material things that don't matter. It's about your impact. How you actually move humanity forward. And as long as you change just one life, then, and only then, can you say, damn, I did a good job. Looking back, mission accomplished. I inspired that person. That was all me. And I'm proud of that. And I only inspired them because of my actions day in and day out. Because when no one believed in me, when I looked absolutely delusional, absolutely insane, when I was talking to myself on this camera for so long, and no one understood, I knew. I always knew. I always saw the vision. I always saw it through, and I just put into action behind all of my manifestations. And then everything came into fruition. Everything I ever wanted, everything I ever imagined, it went way above that. That is me. I am Gestora. That is the legacy right there, man. And you're seeing this in the early stages, not understanding, not fully comprehending what this even is. But I see it. I see the whole entire just layout of everything. Because of semen retention, I have my vision back, my future vision of what is actually potentially possible in every single reality for myself. And all I can see is this championship, this winning, just day after day. It's just embedded in my mind now because it is my inevitability. It is my reality. And I love this. I'm so passionate about it. I'm so in love with this craft of just, speaking, man. It took me so long to even have the courage to be able to speak. When I was 10 years old, I was so shy and afraid to speak up, speak my mind. I have to just cater to everyone. But not anymore. Now I'm my own man. I did everything in my power in order to learn how to even speak. Learning how to speak at 10 years old? That's insanity. That can never happen. Watch me. Oh, you're fat. What do you mean you want to have, some god to your physique? Watch me. You're broke. You're in so much debt. You just fail all the time. You're a failure. All you'll ever do is fail. Fucking watch me. Every single time I prove you wrong. Every single time. And I prove myself right. Because I shape my reality. No other factor. There's no, victimhood mentality. No bitch ass shit like that. It's just me versus me, motherfucker. And if you want to, follow along on this journey, get in now. Dive in now. Because I'm this unstoppable force right now. And just this ball of energy. If this isn't your sign to just, give up on watching give up on, trying to chase women and just give everything to follow and chase your dreams, then, I don't know what it is. Man, look at the energy I have. I slept for 3 hours. I just hit legs. I shouldn't have this sort of energy. I gotta go into work for an 11-hour shift. I should rightfully just be all upset and negative and I don't want to go to work. No, I'm fired up. I'm ready to work. And when I get to work, I'm going to go in running in that bitch. Just ready to go. Make the lines just just overflow. Because I'm just this enigma of energy. And everybody could feel it. Everybody could feel it. Before I even walk in the room, step in the room, everyone wants to talk to me. Everyone wants to, just, everyone just looks at me and what the fuck is that? It's fucking I am Shastora. And as always, I love you guys. 83 days strong. And we're going to keep going. I love you guys. Peace out.